Now, reactions have continued to trail the conferment of national honors by President Bola Tinubu on Democracy Day. Now, while some say the list is deserving, some actually say it is not holistic and subjective. Joining me to discuss this further is one of the honorees, the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Felix Morka. Good to have you join us, and congratulations on this honor as Commander of the Order of the Niger. How does it feel, and what's your reaction to those saying the list isn't, maybe doesn't meet up with their own expectations?
Well, thank you very much for having me. Well, I think the president, in his prerogative and discretion, made those awards to certain Nigerians who clearly were leading participants in the struggle for the enthronement of democracy and to end military dictatorship in the country. Yes, look, I am privileged, one of those privileged to be a recipient of, the award. In my case, the Commander of the Order of the Niger, CON, which I truly appreciate Mr. President for. And my colleagues that I've talked to, who were also cited for that award yesterday, are also very thankful for, the recognition. As you may know, this has been so many years. Some of us were young, naive, but we were decidedly committed to returning our country to the democratic path. So, we took a lot of risks. Some of us, paid, dearly for their service to country. So I think that it was a worthy moment for the president to acknowledge the, efforts and the contribution of these individuals. Now, granted, yes, one may argue that the list was not exhaustive. But again, the opportunity for the president to recognize others who were participants in this process are also not exhausted. So I think that Mr. President, in his own discretion, at the appropriate time in the future, may choose to recognize more people who may be, are found worthy of that recognition based on their contributions to that process.
All right, Mr. Morka, you've spoken about being decidedly committed to making, the democracy work. Now we're in that democracy. And during the president's speech, just yesterday, he was emphatic about his stance against one-party state. On the face value, the president can naturally debunk the concerns of one-party state. But if all of the big people, or most of the big people in the opposition parties, are emptying into the governing party, does it seem what the president is saying is right?
The president was right on the mark. There's nothing going on in our democracy to suggest that, Mr. President or the party that I speak for is doing anything or has any intention to railroad Nigeria into a one-party system. Look, we have this conversation very casually. But, a one-party state is not, a wishful thing to accomplish. This requires, a wide array of legal instrumentation, even constitutional instrumentation, to make it happen. You will need to, amend the Constitution in so many significant respects. So, when the opposition sits idly and, accuse the All Progressives Congress or the president of seeking to enthrone a one-party system, they're just being mischievous, because that's not how it's done. For that to happen, a whole lot needs to be done. The entire country, the state assemblies, we have to be involved in a major constitutional amendment process to make that happen. So when they make those allegations, they're simply trying to deny, I think, their own failure to govern their parties well. Look, what you say to a politician, for example, who is seeking to contest office in 2027 or at some point in the future, without any guarantees that his party can legally meet the requirements of law to present him as candidate. You don't expect them to sit there and just watch the party, go into that sort of decay.
All right.
So when they move, you don't blame the ruling party or anybody else for the failure of the party itself.
I hear you, Mr. Moka. And, one major concern that people also have been raising, with this mass movement is about interest, whether your party is strategically, positioned to actually, manage these interests and prevent an implosion. But aside that, the voice of Senator Seriake Dickson stood out questioning why the president was silent on the emergency rule in Rivers State in his Democracy Day address. What is your reaction to his position and that of others?
Look, first, there's no cause for concern about the APC. There's no imploding of the party. The party is structured and strong enough to manage its internal affairs, and that's why people are coming. So that aside, look, the comments by Mr. Dickson, I don't know where and why he would expect necessarily for Mr. President on Democracy Day to speak to the process in Rivers State or the situation in Rivers State. Mr. President did not impose emergency rule in Rivers State on Democracy Day, and he doesn't necessarily have to on Democracy Day speak to that question or deal with any measure towards resolution of the situation in Rivers. The president is the president. He is well within his authority any day to revisit Rivers State and make necessary decisions. So I think that was just a cheap shot at visibility. I don't think he has any argument, quite frankly.
All right, then. National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Felix Moka, thank you for talking to us and congratulations again on your award.